Before the set even started, there's people screaming for help trying to get out. And especially when this timer starts going off, people are getting pulled out left and right. Hundreds of people are getting pulled out. Unconscious people crowd surfing already before anything even started. So it could have stopped there. They could have realized it was going to get out of hand and stopped it there, but they didn't. Set starts, everything's insane. We're at the barricade. Our ribs and our hips are getting completely crushed by the barricade, and the people behind us is just this mass wave, like, 50,000 people behind us, the pressure of that just crushing us at the front. And another thing I wanted to mention is I've seen a lot of things saying that, like, just the pressure and, like, the uncontrolledness is, like, what made people panic and die. But I also saw a lot of people targeting each other. I was getting hit in the back of the head, smashing my head to the barricade, trying to get my spot. I heard people conspiring to take people out. Like, it was on purpose. And they knew they weren't going to get caught, and they didn't. Yeah, and so we were there from 10 a.m. till the set starts, and as you can see, there was, like, this timer going that was making everybody freak out, and, like, those noises that you're hearing, like, those sounds, were going all day long. From 10 a.m. to the set, these frequency noises with this high bass going all day, making people freak out.
Saying that they saw trouble before Travis Scott took the main stage, and that those signs of trouble were not relegated solely to that area in front of the main stage.
Like, people couldn't breathe, started passing out around me. Travis didn't even start yet. People were passing out. It was getting too squished. People were getting really excited at the moments, and people couldn't breathe.
Brothers Alejandro and Alfredo Escobedo said they didn't notice any problems in front of the main stage until it got closer to the time Travis Scott was scheduled to come out.
There was a 30-minute countdown, and once it hit like 10 minutes, everyone started pushing, going crazy.
But even before Scott's performance, other concert goers in different parts of the venue say they were seeing trouble.
People packed in like a can of sardines, and the crowd will push forward, and then everyone gets mad and they push backwards. And it's just like it goes back and forth and back and forth.
This man spoke with KPRC2 over the phone and is a former firefighter from another state attending the concert with his sister. He says they were watching Don Tolliver's performance at a side stage, and he jumped in to help perform CPR on a woman who passed out. He said when on-site paramedics arrived, they put the woman on a backboard and tried to get her out of the crowd.
I'm yelling, "Don't drop her, don't drop her." And sure enough, they drop her, and right on her face.
Certainly, the level of injuries, the number of people in that venue quickly overwhelmed the third-party vendors that were providing the security and the medical component.
Even though the festival takes place in the city, it's held on county property. So the Houston Fire Department only had a small number of people on scene because the county had a third-party vendor for medical support.
Reporting on it, like, it's different when you see it with your own two eyes. Like, I saw people dying right in front of my eyes. So, a lot more went into everything that happened than just a crowd surge. Yes, the crowd surge played a big part in it, but you had people, like, the stage design was bad, the barricade design was bad, and you had, like, all this crazy stuff happening. Like, everybody was packed in between the sound booth and the main stage because the sound booth was so big that if you stood behind it, you couldn't see the show. So everybody was in front of that, and that compacted the crowd, made it crazier. Not to mention people sneaking in. I probably saw 2,000 people sneak in with as I was waiting for merch at 9:30 in the morning. Like, you have people, like, you had security being dickheads all day, just tasing kids for fun, refusing to pull people out of the crowd unless they were quote-unquote unconscious or dying, which led to people going unconscious or dying. You had medical personnel who were not, like, trained or, like, prepared for what they were getting themselves into. There's reports of medical staff when they got to the scene of a body freezing up like deer in the headlights and not doing anything. You had there's a medical staff that had a seizure carrying somebody out of the crowd, and then that person's life was in the crowd's hands. They didn't have enough equipment. didn't have enough Narcan for overdoses. They didn't have enough defibrillators for heart attack patients. Like, they didn't have enough ambulance carts to get to people that needed help. So a lot of the times you had people in the crowd doing medical procedures on other people in the crowd. I can name 2 specific instances when I had to open up a mosh pit solely to let an ambulance cart come through, and then another to get to a body, and then another time when I had to open up a mosh pit literally around a corpse and have someone from the crowd perform CPR on them. Like, this was no, like, people came thinking it was like, oh, it's a music festival, Bad Bunny's there. No, like, that festival is known for its brutality and physicality, and it is it's just.
We saw the boy get on the cameraman's platform, and
it was a guy and a girl.
Yeah, at first it was a guy, and he was just telling the cameraman something, and we didn't know what was going on, so like
I thought they were drunk.
Yeah, a bunch of people thought like they were rolling off drugs, so like they just like were booing them down, and then a couple of seconds later, like a girl joined the boy, and like she took an aggressive approach to the cameraman. She got in front of him. She was yanking his camera around, like, and the crowd was yelling at them, so like they were like yelling back at the crowd, and then like eventually another employee for Astrofest like walked up there and like yanked both of them off, and I was right under the camera to like witness that. So like I guess come to find out, both of them were trying to tell the cameraman that people were dying, but like the rest of the crowd had no clue. Like me and the people like around me like had no idea that was happening. The cameraman probably had no idea that was happening. Like, it was just hectic all around. Like, it's too hectic. Like,
on the stage, it all feels very orchestrated. It all feels very on purpose. But yeah, I want to talk about people defending him, saying like, well, he can't see up there. Like, he's known for being a rager. Like, da 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 da. No, it was not like that. If he would have said, hey, if you see someone on the ground, pick him up, everyone would have done it. Everyone would have done it. But instead, he says, I want the fucking ground to shake. Like, let's go crazy, Houston. Hello? And he got word that people were unconscious. He could see them. He got word that people were dying. And he was still saying these things. Like, let's go, let's rage, let's go crazy. And like, as the show was going on, I was just praying for it to be over. I was so scared of him. I was scared he was going to get us all killed.